The hidden legacy of women in tech history. Women have played a significant, yet often overlooked role in shaping the landscape of technology and innovation. From the earliest days of computing to modern breakthroughs in artificial intelligence, women have been integral to the development of technologies that have transformed society. Despite the challenges of gender bias and exclusion from the limelight, the contributions of these trailblazing women have left a profound legacy that continues to inspire new generations. Here is an exploration of some of the key figures and milestones in the hidden legacy of women in tech history. 1. Ada Lovelace, the first computer programmer. Who she was. Ada Lovelace, 1815 to 1852, the daughter of the poet Lord Byron, is widely considered the world's first computer programmer. Despite living in the 19th century, Lovelace's insights into computing were revolutionary. Working alongside Charles Babbage, who designed the analytical engine, an early mechanical general-purpose computer, Lovelace envisioned its potential beyond mere calculations. Her legacy. Lovelace wrote detailed notes on Babbage's machine, including an algorithm that would allow the engine to compute a sequence of Bernoulli numbers. This is considered the first ever algorithm written for a machine, earning her the title of the first computer programmer. Lovelace also predicted that machines could someday compose music or produce graphics, ideas far ahead of her time. Number 2. Grace Hopper, pioneer of computer programming. Who she was. Grace Hopper, 1906 to 1992, an American computer scientist and naval officer, was one of the most influential figures in the development of modern computing. Known for her work on the Harvard Mark I computer during World War II, Hopper later developed the first compiler, which allowed computers to translate written language into machine code. Her legacy. Hopper's invention of the compiler was a foundational breakthrough in computer programming. She was also instrumental in developing COBOL, Common Business-Oriented Language, one of the first high-level programming languages, which is still in use today. Hopper is credited with popularizing the term debugging after discovering an actual moth in a computer relay that was causing problems, a humorous but enduring metaphor for fixing code errors. Number 3. Hedy Lamarr, inventor, behind wireless communication. Who she was. Hedy Lamarr, 1940-2000, was an Austrian-American actress who, despite her fame in Hollywood, made significant contributions to the field of wireless communication. Along with composer George Antheil, Lamarr co-invented a frequency-hopping system that could be used to guide torpedoes during World War II without being jammed. Her legacy. Although the U.S. Navy did not immediately adopt their invention, the principles of Lamarr's frequency-hopping system were later applied to technologies such as Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and GPS. Lamarr's groundbreaking work earned her posthumous recognition as a pioneer in the world of wireless communication. Number 4. Katherine Johnson, NASA's human computer. Who she was. Katherine Johnson, 1918 to 2020, was an African-American mathematician whose calculations were critical to the success of NASA's early space missions. Her work on orbital mechanics helped ensure the safe return of astronauts like John Glenn, who famously requested that Johnson verify computer-generated calculations before his 1962 orbital flight. Her legacy. Johnson's contributions were crucial to the United States' success in the space race, including the Apollo 11 moon landing. She was one of the hidden figures whose stories were highlighted in the 2016 film of the same name, which brought long overdue recognition to her and other African-American women who played key roles at NASA during the 1960s. 5. Joan Clark, cryptanalyst at Bletchley Park. Who she was. Joan Clark, 1917 to 1996, was a British cryptanalyst who worked at Bletchley Park, the center of Allied code-breaking efforts during World War II. Clark was part of the team led by Alan Turing that successfully cracked the German Enigma machine, an accomplishment that significantly contributed to the Allied victory. Her legacy. Despite the sexism that pervaded her workplace, Clark rose through the ranks at Bletchley Park, earning the respect of her colleagues for her brilliant cryptographic skills. She played an essential role in breaking complex ciphers, and her work at Bletchley is now recognized as one of the most significant intelligence achievements of the 20th century. 6. Margaret Hamilton, Apollo's software engineer. Who she was. Margaret Hamilton, b. 1936, was the lead software engineer for NASA's Apollo program. She developed the onboard flight software that powered the Apollo missions, including the historic Apollo 11 landing on the moon in 1969. Hamilton's code was crucial in preventing the mission from being aborted when the lunar module's computer became overloaded with data during the descent. Her legacy. Hamilton is credited with coining the term software engineering to describe the rigorous, systematic approach she took in developing software. Her work laid the foundation for modern software engineering practices, and her contributions were critical in ensuring the success of the Apollo moon landings. In 2016, she was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, one of the highest civilian honors in the United States. Number 7. Radia Perlman, the mother of the Internet. Who she was. Radia Perlman, b. 1951, is an American computer scientist known for her invention of the Spanning Tree Protocol, STP, which is fundamental to the operation of network bridges. Her work on network routing protocols helped lay the groundwork for the modern Internet, making her one of the most influential figures in the development of network technology. Her legacy. Perlman's STP allows for the efficient and reliable transfer of data across networks by preventing loops, which would otherwise cause network failures. Her contributions to computer networking have earned her the nickname Mother of the Internet, although Perlman herself has downplayed this title, acknowledging that many others also contributed to the development of the Internet as we know it today. 8. Annie Easley, breaking barriers at NASA. Who she was. Annie Easley, 1933 to 2011, was an African-American computer scientist, mathematician, and rocket scientist who worked at NASA and its predecessor, NACEA, for 34 years. Easley worked on numerous projects, including developing code for energy conversion systems and analyzing performance for NASA's early rocket engines. Her legacy. Easley's work was essential in the development of technologies that powered NASA's Centaur rocket, which paved the way for many space missions. She also played a key role in advocating for diversity and inclusion at NASA, mentoring other women and people of color in the field of science and engineering. Number 9. Carol Shaw, a pioneer in video game programming. Who she was. Carol Shaw, b. 1955, is widely recognized as one of the first female video game designers and programmers. She worked at Atari and later Activision, where she developed and programmed several iconic games, including 3D Tic-Tac-Toe and River Raid, 1982, one of the most popular games for the Atari 2600. Her legacy. Shaw broke barriers in the male-dominated field of video game programming, and her work helped shape the early years of the gaming industry. River Raid was especially notable for its complex, procedurally generated levels, which were groundbreaking at the time. Shaw's contributions to gaming have earned her a place as one of the pioneering women in the history of video game development. 10. Susan Kare, the designer behind iconic user interfaces. Who she was. Susan Kare, 1954, is a graphic designer who created many of the original icons and user interface elements for the Apple Macintosh in the 1980s. Her minimalist, pixel-based designs, including the smiling Happy Mac icon, have become iconic symbols in the history of personal computing. Her legacy. Kare's work helped shape the user-friendly graphical interfaces that made computers accessible to everyday users. Her influence extends beyond Apple, as she went on to design icons and graphics for companies like Microsoft, IBM, and Facebook. Her designs are a key part of the visual language of computing, making her one of the most important figures in digital design history. Conclusion. A legacy of innovation and determination. The contributions of women in technology are vast and varied, spanning programming, engineering, design, cryptography, and beyond. These pioneers not only helped build the foundation for the modern technological world, but also broke down gender barriers, proving that women are a vital force in the advancement of science and technology. Despite their often overlooked contributions, the legacy of these women continues to resonate, inspiring new generations to pursue careers in STEM fields and challenge the gender disparities that persist in the tech industry. By highlighting the stories of these remarkable women, we not only honor their achievements, but also ensure that their contributions to technology are remembered and celebrated.